Now we're going to talk about more geometric terms. Today I'm going to give you some more vocabulary words that describe different types of lines and more along the lines of angle relationships. Our first word is up here behind me. The first word is transversal. A transversal is a line that cuts across two parallel lines. It's a line that intersects two parallel lines. So hopefully you can see the colors here, but these green lines are parallel. This red line here is a transversal. It's intersecting the parallel lines, and it is creating all kinds of different angle relationships. It's creating angles, and these angles have special relationships. And that's what I'd like to look at today. The first angle relationship that we have are corresponding angles. I want you to make sure you're copying the words, vocabulary words, and the definitions, and you're writing or drawing an example to go with it. So here we have an example of the parallel lines. See the parallel lines? Cut by a transversal. This transversal is intersecting the parallel lines. And what we have numbered here are all different angles. Some of these angles are corresponding angles. And if you've read the definition, it says corresponding angles are angles in matching corners. And they're equal, they're congruent. Let me show you some examples in this diagram of corresponding angles. Angle 1 here and angle 7 are corresponding angles. You can write those down. Angle 1 and angle 7 are corresponding. Do you see how they're in matching corners? If I were to measure their angles, this angle and this angle would be exactly the same. Do you see any more? There are several more. Try to use different colors so you can see the different angles. Angle 2 and angle 4 are also in matching corners. Angle 2 and angle 4 are corresponding. Then we have angle 3 here and angle 5 are in matching corners. So they are corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 5. And the last pair of angles, I won't highlight them because I'm getting too much highlighting. You can see the unhighlighted angles that are left are also corresponding. Angle 6 and angle 8. So I've written all the corresponding pairs down. Make sure you write them down. So corresponding angles are angles in matching corners of the parallel lines, of the angles that are created by the parallel line, and they're equal. So if I told you that angle 2 is maybe 60 degrees, that means angle 4 is also 60 degrees. If I tell you angle 3 is 120 degrees, then you automatically know that angle 5 is 120 degrees. You can also tell the measure of the angles based on what we learned about supplementary angles yesterday. A pair of supplementary angles, remember what that equals? It equals 180 degrees. So if I were to tell you the measure of this being 60, you can find the measure of this one because together, look, they're making a straight line or straight angle. So 60 plus 120 is 180. And you're going to see all of this kind of comes together and relates to each other. You're also going to see how you can find the missing angle across. If you know this is 60, then this is 60 because they're vertical. If this is 120, then this is 120 because they're also vertical. We learned about vertical angles yesterday. All right, let's move on. I want you to see if you can name the 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Pause the video, copy the diagram, and see if you can name 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Okay, let's see if you got them all. Angle E and angle G are corresponding. You get those? Angle F and angle H are corresponding. I'm going to write them down. Angle A and angle C. angle A and angle C are corresponding. And the last pair are angle D and angle B. Angle D and angle B are also matching and corresponding. Let's take a look at some real life pictures, and I want you to look at these and see if you can find examples of angles that we've learned about so far. Can you find corresponding angles? Can you find vertical? Can you find any complementary or supplementary angles? Pause the video and see if you can find some, then we'll talk about them. All right, let's take a look. There are many examples, and you may have found some that I'm not going to mention. That doesn't mean you're wrong. I'm just going to mention a few of the obvious ones. Okay, well, here in this these lines here, you can see these are parallel lines. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like they're going to intersect. There's parallel lines. So that means this is a transversal. And that means that this angle and this angle are corresponding. See that? They're corresponding angles. In this diagram here, there's lots of different things. You might have noticed this line and this line. So they are forming two, if you look this angle here and this angle here, they're forming supplementary angles. They're also, you can see there, you can see some vertical angles. Okay? In this picture, this little house or structure, we can see, I wonder if you saw the complementary angles. Did you see the complementary angles? The two angles here, this looks like this little tower and the roof are making one angle, and then the roof and the bottom of the roof are making another angle. Together, it makes a right angle. So those are complementary. Did you notice the railroad crossing sign? Those look like perpendicular lines, and you can see vertical angles. I also see in here, did you notice right here, the supplementary angles? This angle and this angle are supplementary. Take a look around on your way home today. Go for a walk around your neighborhood and see all the real life examples of angles and geometric figures and lines there are in real life. They're all around us. I'm not going to name too many more. Let's take a look at this one. Kind of hard to see from your view, but if you have a chance to maybe pause it and zoom in, you might be able to see right here there are supplementary angles, and even within the supplementary angles, they're complementary angles. These two are complementary. The roof has all kinds of support beams here that are making different angles. And there, in this little windmill, we can see vertical angles again. Perpendicular lines with vertical angles. Lots and lots of different angle relationships. I'm sure you found more than I was able to name. Okay, here's the same diagram again. We're still talking about parallel lines cut by a, what's this called again? Transversal. And they're creating all kinds of angle relationships. We learned about corresponding angles. Here are two other words, interior and exterior angles. They are what they sound like. Interior means inside. The interior angles are the angles inside the parallel lines. So angle 8, angle 3, and angle 7 and angle 4 are all interior angles. And conversely, the angles outside the parallel lines are exterior. Exterior means outside. So angle 1, angle 2, angle 6, and angle 5 are all exterior angles. It's pretty simple. But what relationships do these have? Why are these special? On the very next page, I'm going to show you why these are special. Take a look at this diagram. Again, you've got your parallel lines cut by your transversal, and And again, the angles are numbered. We got angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I want you to fill in the blanks here and copy down this definition. Here we have something special about exterior angle. Alternate exterior angles. I'll give you an example of alternate exterior angles here. Angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles because they fall outside of the parallel lines and they're on alternate or opposite sides of the transversal. Do you see it? Angle 1 and angle 7 are called alternate exterior angles, and you know what? They are equal. There's another way to find angle measures. If you can identify alternate exterior angles, they're equal. You can kind of tell, look, they look the same. They are equal. So go ahead and write that down as well. They're congruent. So if I told you this angle right here is 160 degrees, then you would automatically know, oh, angle 1 is also 160 degrees because it's on opposite sides of the transversal outside the parallel line. Okay, there's another pair of alternate exterior angles. Angle 8 and angle 6. So angle 6 and angle 8 are also a pair of alternate exterior angles. They're outside of the parallel lines and they're on opposite sides of this transversal. You see it? All right, and then we have the opposite. We've got angle 3 and angle 5 are called alternate interior angles because these angles are inside the parallel lines now. They're inside the parallel line. Alternate means opposite, so they're on opposite sides of the transversal. They're alternate interior angles and they are located between or inside the parallel line and they're on opposite sides of the transversal, and you probably guessed it, they're equal too. They're also congruent. So you should write that down. If I'm talking too fast, pause the video and copy these definitions. And as you can probably see, angle 4 and angle 6 are another pair of alternate interior angles. So far today, the vocabulary words that we have, you should have written down the transversal. You should have written down corresponding angles, interior, exterior, and alternate interior and alternate exterior. Okay, I want you to look at, I'm going to skip ahead to this diagram here, and I want you to fill out as much as you can. Fill in each angle measure and give the relationship that helps you find the measure. And then see if you can answer these blanks. I'm going to challenge you on this video because this is hard. I've given you a lot of vocabulary words. Take your time, go back over the definition, and see if you can figure out the measure of angle 1, of angle 2, of angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, 6, 7. If I'm telling you this measure right here is 45 degrees, this little angle right here is 45 degrees. Knowing that, see if you can find the measure of all these others. And then if you can, this is an extra bonus, see if you can tell me the relationship that helps you figure out that measure. And then see if you can answer 8, 9, and 10. Bring this to class tomorrow and we will go over these answers in class tomorrow. I'll see you then.